Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. All right, you happy few, welcome back for episode 39 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. I'm your host, Berzerker, and with me, as always, is the cringer to my He-Man. He is Navox. Welcome back again, sir.
Hey, that was a good one. I like that one. that one hits home. The nostalgia there with
we'll just
He-Man.
start working our way through the 80s cartoons.
Yeah, perfect.
And
Perfect.
coming up with all the power duos from Saturday mornings of eons ago.
That's why I used to get embarrassed watching He-Man as a kid because my name is Adam. So whenever that show would start up, I'd always get embarrassed when Prince Adam would come on.
With that bitchin'
yeah.
haircut.
Yeah, the Prince of Valiant. Yeah.
Hey, it worked, man. The guy's an icon, even after all these years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, since the last time we've been here, we've had a contest rolling on. We're getting the Blizzcon hype train rolling, and we're almost there. It's right around the corner. We're pulling up to the stop. But how has the life of Navox been since the last time we were here?
Actually, I've been having an awesome time in WoW these past couple of weeks.
All right.
Yeah, Hollow's End is happening.
Yes.
So Geek
Get
Chic
that
Lease-
mount.
Yeah. Well, I already have the mount. But
Oh, you bastard.
I know. I already have the mount. I got lucky 2 years ago and I ended up getting a mount. Actually, I think we're going to have to log in and see if we can't get Lise the mount, though. Because it's a neat mount. She has her mounts, but, it's just worth it to collect it. That and the
It's
helmet
sweet.
even, so...
Oh, yeah. Hallowed Helm.
Exactly. So we've been working on all the Hollow's End shenanigans, tossing eggs in Lordaeron, lighting the Wicker Man on fire, cleaning up Stormwind, getting all sugared up on tricky treats. You know the deal. 'Tis the season for mischief and fun and David Pumpkins. And,
David S. Pumpkins.
David S. Pumpkins. That's right. And
Somehow the worst SNL thing and yet the best SNL
it's
thing.
the
And
best
I can't explain
SNL
why.
thing. But other than that, I've been working on leveling up my DK because it is the season to throw in a little typo negative and just level the DK up and, rip, Peter Steele, all that good stuff. And then last Thursday, Facepull Raid Team, we down heroic Gahoon. Sorry, not Goon. Gahoon. And I'm not a big fan of this fight. But
You don't like having to juggle balls?
yeah, through all the power matrix carries, explosive corruptions, wave of corruptions, the ceiling collapses, and then the ground spores. We got them dead. But yeah, it's not my favorite. But I'm trying to think of like some other things. We did some PvP last night, which is actually kind of fun. If you haven't done any PvP recently, you need to do some PvP. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they've changed. It's a lot of fun. And the reward system now, I've been getting a lot of the transmog items out of PvP now, so it's kind of fun. The dreaded gladiator stuff. So I was enjoying that. So we were doing 2s, working on 3s, and then we ended up this past week. If you all did it, you probably already did. Flip on war mode, go over to Zoldazar, and kill 10 horde players. Well, the group I was with was just Paladin, Future Dark, and Echelon, who's mage. We ended up in the Horde main capital over there. And what was funny, we ended up there because there was an assassin on the map, and he happened to be sitting in the middle throne room in the capital city. So we're just like, you know what? We're crazy. Let's just go get him. So we go up there. It was like Han Solo running into a band of stormtroopers and just, it was fun. We actually ended up killing him. And then we ended up getting our 10 kills there because the horde was stupid. And we were able to filter them in one by running up one of the sides of the elevator and getting them to, come up one at a time. We ended up killing them. But Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then other than that, I've been playing another game on the side. I've been playing a little Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which
How
is
dare
awesome.
you?
Oh, you've got to play this game. You would love this
traitor.
game. Oh my God, it's awesome. But that's it with me. How about you, man? You had some things going on this week, World of Podcast, the panel, the Calm Before the Storm and all that. I think you guys did an awesome job.
Well, thank you. It's always interesting to be involved in panel discussions because you're never really sure how it sounds on the other end. Because I know for myself, you're just thinking about a bunch of different things at once and stressing out and being like, all right, am I paying attention? Am I saying the things that are relevant? And what are other people saying? And who's, doing what? And yeah, I tell you, I am still surprised, shocked, and albeit very appreciative of the fact that all of the folks over there at Con Before the Storm were willing to let me come on. I, of course, true to form, was the only person who dropped the F-bomb. And that happened right at the end. And I didn't even really think about it. And all of a sudden, there it was. And so, yeah, I'm really keeping up my end of the bargain. Jesus. But yeah, I had a great time last night. This was on the Con Before the Storm Twitch channel. If you're interested, you can go back and watch it. I think it's technically labeled as Overwatch Shenanigans because I didn't update the actual title of it. But yeah, there was a panel of Warcraft podcasters. It was led by Medros from All Things Azeroth. He was our moderator. And we had our buddy Frazzly from Frazzlecast. There was also Ali from Dungeon Fables, Stone from WoW Challenges, myself, Wookie from WoW Talk, and Tosh Mafuni from the Half-Hill Report. And, I just want to say one thing about this group, and one guy in particular is Tosh Mafuni. If you've never heard the Half-Hill Report, this guy probably has the best voice.
Oh my God.
Of any podcaster I have ever heard. I don't know what this guy does in his real life, but if he's not getting paid to do some kind of voiceover work or some kind of thing, this dude is legit. And he does some really great voices on his podcast, just kind of for shits and giggles. He was doing it for us in just our channel before we even started recording. This guy's really good. So for anybody out there that's looking for like a good voice, I highly recommend this guy. And he seems like he's a pretty nice dude. But yeah, it was a good group. Had a good time. Took the full 2 hours. I think there was some question as to whether or not we would actually fill enough time, and I was pretty sure we would, especially with Frazzly, who, I like to talk, and I know, I recognize when other people like to talk, and our boy Fraz, he's got the gift of gab, so I was not.
He has a 2 hour long podcast. Yeah, he's got the gift of gab.
Yeah, he's gonna make sure it goes the time. So yeah, but we had a great time. We talked about a lot of the topics we've talked about here on this show in the past, in terms of whether it was Morheim leaving, some of the 8.1 activity that's going on, looking forward into the future, potential for 8.2. We also talked about the con itself, obviously, with BlizzCon coming up, some of the panels, what we think may or may not happen, given some of the descriptions. So it was good, and I hope people check it out and enjoy it. I'm sorry, I think my mic was kind of low. I'm still trying to figure out how in the fuck to get my mic working correctly when I'm live streaming on Twitch or Discord or whatever. So you just have to screw around with your audio. Sorry. But yeah, it was good. And again, I really appreciate Ro and Seraphis and Sia letting me come on and, give a warrior a chance, even though, we're pretty low on the totem pole when it comes to some of this stuff. But it was a good time. Look forward to hopefully seeing all those folks next year. And yeah, check it out. It's on their Twitch channel, Con Before Storm, I think is what it is. So pull it up, take a listen. There'll be another one. There was another one last night that will be up there. And then there are going to be panels, tons of panels coming up all throughout BlizzCon. So go to their website, Gone Before the Storm's website. Check out all the schedule stuff there. I think we mentioned this before. There's 55 plus podcasts being represented on throughout the duration of BlizzCon. So it's a lot. And if you're a fan of any show, if you listen to any show, chances are you're going to hear somebody or you like or whatever the thing is. So check it out. But yeah, it was great to be able to participate in that. as well as just on the Warcraft side, getting to jump in on some warfronting again, because, big fan of that, even after a suspect rollout. Still enjoying it, and our team is about halfway through heroics now.
Nice.
Our raid team, so we're making steady progress. Our team has never been, shall we say, cutting edge, but we bang our heads through some fights, but we stick together, we get it done, have for years, and it's how we do things. So I'm fully confident that we will be in line with whatever we need to be in line with by the time 8.1 rolls around, and we'll get our stuff done. Full faith and confidence in that. But this week, here we are, right on BlizzCon Eve for the most part, and we're going to keep it pretty light this week. Just talk about BlizzCon, some of the panels coming up, what we're looking forward to.
We're going to keep this light?
Yeah, we're going to keep this. Oh, wait. We do have a rage portion. We'll certainly get to that, and after which we will sort of a live discussion of our top 3 contest entries to win your virtual ticket.
Yeah.
So we've got a little discussion on that. But first, what do you say we jump into some rage? Let's rage. All right, so we're gonna peel back the curtain here a little bit and give our dear listeners some insight into how the sausage is made here.
Yeah.
On the Unshackled Fury podcast. You and I were actually just prepping for this show.
Yep.
And talking about, okay, here's what we're going to talk about, this, and that. And for a moment, we thought we might even just pass up on the rage segment this week because, it's BlizzCon. We just want to keep it high level, keep it light, keep it happy. But then the Q&A portion of the world opened back up again. And as anybody who's listened to the show, as anybody who may have listened to the stream I was on last night on the pod before the con, for the con before the storm, I have a deep and abiding love of the Q&A, and as equally deep and abiding hate and anger and disgust for all of the terrible ass questions that get asked every year at the Warcraft Q&A. It is without fail that every year during the open Q&A, you get the same awful types of questions from the same people, except for Ro. I'll give Ro a pass. Ro's our guy. He asked good questions.
Ro was first last year.
Yeah. We'll give him the pass. But for the most part, it's, I'm so-and-so, and I'm from this guild. What up, so-and-so? Okay, my class and this problem, and these are 3 people only really care about this, but I'm going to waste everybody's time because I want to. And it just, I wish they had, like, the guy at the Apollo Theater with the big hook, and you could just, like, drag people away from the microphone when they ask these just terrible questions. Well, it turns out that this year, as I think they may have done a little bit last year too, they are pre-screening the questions for the Q&A.
Yep.
Which I think helps eliminate this problem to some respect. On the forums as we speak, there is a post. There is a post on the forums, and it's titled BlizzCon 2018 Q&A submission thread, where Yethissens, if I'm ever pronouncing that name right, that's how we go, has a little post there talking about how on Saturday, November 3rd at 3:30, goes 3:30 to 4:30 in the main hall, they are going to have the Q&A for Warcraft with the developers. And this is the thread that up until 6 p.m. Pacific time on November 2nd, you can submit potential questions for the Q&A. Hey, everybody gets a chance to participate. That's pretty sweet. There's some guidelines here in terms of try to keep your question brief. If you feel like this is something that you like, you can like it and upvote it. They're talking, just a little bit about how there's going to be tons of questions. Probably won't get to ask them all. And make sure that you're actually asking a question versus just making a statement. You and I had looked at this. We're like, okay, we just want to make sure we make a note to the people that this is open and this is something that you can participate in. And then we start scrolling through the questions.
Oh yeah.
The questions that have already been asked. And I'm just going to pull up the first one that blew my mind, which was that question: are you guys planning to make raiding great again, and how? P.S. Removal of armor sets, master loot, M+ dominance.
Now wait. From a level 44, did nobody ever posts on their main character on the forums?
No.
Never have all that. Nope. We're just gonna post on our low level tune, skate on by with a shit question, and just leave it out there for, I mean, seriously, this is a question. This is gonna get dumped. No one wants to hear your shit like this.
Here's another one. Do you have plans to make locks and DKs not garbage? You
Nope.
keep saying that there is plans, but show us nothing.
Nope, not at all.
Yes, that is a legitimate question that somebody is going to take the time to answer at the fucking convention. Are you kidding me? Once again, I am baffled by why are professions irrelevant? Yes, great question. Worthy of a response. Why have Worgen Goblin updates been planned for 5.3 X-Backs, and yet we've never seen any work in progress of them?
Yeah, we've never seen the work in progress. Blizzard hasn't checked with us. They haven't, given us an update on that and made sure we got our buy-in on it. So for the life of me, I get it. Listen, there's always going to be forum trolls. There's always going to be the thing. But here you have like a main line running right to the devs, to BlizzCon, an opportunity to ask any relevant question that you want to ask, but instead, enhanced shaman fixes? When? Where? What? More than likely, never. Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Like I think that if you ask this kind of passive aggressive question, that there should be automatic ban.
That or Blizzard should be allowed, or Blizzard should do the passive aggressive answers. Also, I don't.
Well,
know.
I think every once in a while, when lore might kind of just start treading into that territory, he just gets slammed.
Yeah,
just slammed. I understand that there are always going to be frustrations for people, but again, you are wasting a valuable opportunity to ask relevant questions about the game, and instead, you want to ask things like, are there any plans to make leveling more fun and engaging for those who have done the content many times before? Yes, they're going to go out and create a whole separate leveling chain with all new quests just because you have an alt.
Yep.
They have an entire team dedicated to that. This kind of stuff blows my mind, and it further shows you why they need to screen these questions, because people left to their own devices will ask the most jackassy questions possible, and this cannot be allowed ever again. You'll never get a live Q&A ever again, and it's because of stuff like this. It's like, why? I don't understand it. Like, every year we go through this. Why class design was not a top 1 priority during development?
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing on this.
God help us all. Once again, I find myself on the eve of BlizzCon, ready to go, happy to see it come, but by God, our Q&A, can it ever be salvaged? Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you summed it up quite nicely. Otherwise, I would have gone through each one of these things and tried to answer some of these myself. I mean, and on the flip side, there are a couple good questions in here, and one in particular, right off the topic or right off the side, I personally, I thought it was a good question, was why the change in Jaina. There was a question about Jaina's staff. It was a lore question. Why is Jaina's staff changed? To me, that seems like a good question. No one ever asked that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I was like, that's a good question. Somebody had a good question. So there are plenty more questions out here that are good as well. Just
don't waste your opportunities, people.
Yeah, don't waste the opportunity. You have a direct line to the devs. The devs are probably looking, the devs who are answering this are probably looking at this daily, if not hourly at this point, going, okay, so
they never look at the forums because they don't care about us.
That's right.
I mean, I mean, I'm not the most positive guy in the world. Clearly, by the fact that we do a rage portion
Right.
on our podcast, we're always looking for something to get riled up about. But for heaven's sakes, my mother's not even this passive aggressive, and I'm pretty sure she wrote a textbook about it. So, guilt is a member of my family tree, and I don't even see things like this. God
Shows
almighty.
up on your Facebook page.
Oh.
Why
It'd be
does it
nice
seem
if
like you
somebody
guys never-
called me today? Why are professions irrelevant? Holy smokes! All right. Well, I've beat this dead horse long enough. So, at any rate, as far as a news item goes, in our rage portion, the thread is open. If you want to submit good questions, please do so at the forum posting that we have open. Please think about your question. Get something good in there, and we'll see what kind of fabulous, fantastic questions get asked and great information that we get from our devs. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our news, and when we get there, first thing first, we are going to announce the winners of Win Navox's virtual ticket. So as promised, eons ago, 1 month ago, however long ago, 2 episodes ago, we had announced our first Unshackled Fury BlizzCon talent contest, with the grand prize being your virtual ticket.
That's right.
Because just wasn't quite doing it for you this year, and you felt like giving the people a hand out here and saying, hey, show us something good, and we'll give you a reward. So we had not just that for first place, but for second place, our winner will receive a mount from the in-game store of their choice. And for third place, the winner will get a pet from the in-game store, and a pet will be of their choice as well. And we have before us, you and I, 3 finalists for these fabulous prizes.
Nice.
And we are going to break them down one by one, and we are going to make our decision live here on the air. And hopefully I can get this edited and posted tonight, so people will find out tonight, Monday the 29th, if not tomorrow, the 30th. And those winners will be notified and can enjoy all of their fabulous prizes. So first up, we have a somewhat unique entry from someone going by the name of Terraburn, who sent us in what he describes as a real-life PvP video. And essentially, it's him in a jiu-jitsu studio, gym, whatever you want to call this. And he's rolling with some other dude, and he makes him tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets him into something I cannot describe. Well done. Well done. And I certainly would not have thought of creating some sort of real-life PvP situation for this.
We should get him like an alliance badge to sew on his gi for the next submission.
That's a pretty good idea. I was really hoping that when he submitted this guy that he would yell out, for the Alliance!
I think he plays a Horde character too.
Long live Varian! Death to Sylvanas!
Tell me about it.
So what did you think of the skill that was displayed here in this fine piece of athletic prowess?
I'm actually really big into I love UFC. I love martial arts. I did martial arts for a very, very long time. Very, very light. I did kicking, punching, taekwondo, all that kind of good stuff. But I never got into doing jiu-jitsu, and it's always fascinated me. It's always something I've wanted to do. So this kind of stuff, interests me. So I thought it was quite interesting for a submissionception, I would say.
A submission within a submission.
That's right.
Very good. All right. Yeah. Well done, Terraburn. It looks like you own that guy, and we have finalist entry number 1. Now, for finalist entry number 2. Coming from Graves, we have a submission not really technically from him, but from his child. And you know I'm a sucker for kids trying to get free shit for their parents. And not only that, but little Graves here sent us a picture of Graves' warrior fighting Deathwing.
Yeah.
Which it was indeed one of the most epic battles in the history of Warcraft.
It really was.
I really appreciate that being the moment that was chosen.
That's right. Are you ready to chase down the end of the world? Yeah, that was
going Point Break style right out of that ship.
That was such a good fight. Thank you for bringing that back. Yeah.
And what did you think of the artwork here? This was like a very kind of neoclassical style.
Yeah, I could tell Deathwing from the fire or the tongue. Yeah, I mean that's fire. It's got to be fire because we're dealing with
big
Deathwing
and black
here.
and menacing.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking, right?
And then Graves, I'm really trying to make out the warrior here. Do you play a dwarf by chance? I think you play a dwarf, right? Write us and let us know. Tweet at us. But yes, very very good job here.
Was this some Demon Soul tier armor set I see going on? What armor set do you think this is?
If I had to guess with the red, yeah, that would be. What tier was that? Is that? Oh
it's
man,
either that or he kind of looks like the Kool-Aid Man because I feel like he's big and red. And I think I see a smile in there. He's just going, "Oh yeah, Deathwing, kapow!"
It was like he's Marioing Deathwing, like he's jumping on top of Deathwing's head there. Yeah.
Yeah. But solid. Very, very solid entry. And thank you, Little Graves, for entering this contest. And you are finalist number 2. Now, last but not least, we have finalist entry number 3. And this one comes from somewhat of a mystery character, as we received this email simply from Edgar Poe.
Yeah, Edgar Poe.
Edgar Poe, which, maybe, listen, this could be a long... lived Edgar Allan Poe, who might still be around. This could be a descendant, or it could just be a great pseudonym. I don't know which. But Edgar Poe sent us a nice little poem that was about a character that I'm not entirely sure everyone knows about. But this is a character by the name of Kindy Sparkshine, which if you don't know who Kindy is, Kindy at one point was the apprentice of Jaina. She was a little gnome, pretty young. I think she was a teenager. And sadly, she was killed in the events of the bombing of Theramore. And if you read the book Tides of War, they go through Kindy's life and, her being this sort of Spitfire apprentice of Jaina's. And it was definitely one of the sadder, more emotional things that's happened in one of these books when she was one of the many who got annihilated. And there's a whole scene with Jaina where she touches her body and it just completely disintegrates. And it's really fucked up.
I don't know why we're laughing about that, but yeah, it's really fucked up.
We're laughing to keep from crying. And we're probably about to cry anyway because Edgar Poe sent us this fine poem, and it reads in 2 parts. There is the part of Kindy's father, Wendell Sparkshine. There's also the part of Kindy herself as, I guess, Ghost Kindy or Spirit Kindy. And we're going to do a little reading of this poem for our audience as we continue to do our judging. And I'm going to read this with the help of your resident badass who's going to come on and help read the Kindy portion of this.
Yep. We have to swap out right now.
Okay.
Hey
there she is. Hello there.
Hi.
All right. So helping me, like I said, we have a resident badass of the House of Navox. It's Lisa Leo, who is here to help me do this little reading here of this horribly sad poem of a father to his dead daughter. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Wow. I'm glad to finally get you on the show, actually. I think
I
think I've had a
know.
bunch of ideas where I'm like, we should get Lisa on the show, and now we finally have a way to con you in here.
Oh, you don't have to con me. I'll come on anytime. I love it.
Okay, fabulous. We'll have to find some other not so heart-wrenching reason to get you on here.
Agreed.
Okay, so for our third and final entry from Edgar Poe, we have the poem titled Lighting the Way for Kindy. Here we go. How long must I feel this way? This pain is too much to bear. I cannot begin another day knowing you won't be there. The world has grown ever so dark, a shadow cast upon these lands. A shallow smile adorns my face, but no one truly understands. You were stolen from my side, your life was ripped away. My shallow smile is not enough for me to begin another day.
Papa, I can feel your pain. I feel the heartache inside. I have watched you beyond the veil, held your hand the times you've cried. A father should never have to bury a child they held so dear. Though you cannot hear my voice, Papa, I'm still here. Please don't mourn me anymore. It hurts to see you sad. Remember me the way I was, the good times that we had.
I know one day we'll meet again. My daughter, I miss you so. I hold your memory in my thoughts. I feel you wherever I go. Every night I light the way to bring you home to me, illuminating Dalaran's silent streets in a glow you'll never again see.
Papa, I have seen your lights. They have guided me so far, through endless forms of darkened shadows, to find solace where you are. I will remain forevermore in your thoughts and in your prayer. I will remain forevermore. Think of me, and I'll be there.
And scene. Wow.
Oh, that's pretty
Thank you very
powerful
much.
stuff right there. You're welcome.
That is pretty heavy stuff.
I got a little misty. Allergies.
If you don't feel some kind of emotion going through that, you're just cold and dead inside like I am.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. So. Well, thank you very much for your assistance.
You are
and,
so welcome.
We
Anytime.
will have you back again soon.
Absolutely. Love doing it.
All right. What do you think about that, Nav?
I thought that was pretty powerful considering I know the background of this, and I've actually gone to, if you haven't done this in game, go to Dalaran, and every evening you'll see Wendell, right? That's his name, Wendell.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see him light all the torches around Dalaran, and if you look at the top, you'll see little Kindy up top. So, take time out of, if you haven't done it and you're like, I'm bored, there's nothing to do in game, go to Dalaran and check it out. It's the new Dalaran, I believe. I don't know if it happens in the old Dalaran. I think it happens in the new Dalaran because old Dalaran is, Lich
in
King.
another time.
Another time, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was really well done.
For just a random contest out on the internet. That was a pretty powerful poem to put out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to say. All right, well done. Well done all. So now let's get to the heart of this thing. We have to decide who our first, second, and third places are for our fabulous contest. So I'm gonna say, I think that for our third place, as much as I appreciate the athletic endeavor, it was a little bit of a stretch to get it to say that this was directly Warcraft related. So I'm gonna say that I think Terraburn and his jujitsu roll probably is our third place finisher.
I agree.
All right. So, Terraburn, congratulations. You have just won yourself a pet. Whatever pet you want, shoot me a message. We'll get it. We'll send it to you. Give me your BattleNet ID, and we'll get that to you. So, congratulations and well done. Now, poem versus a child's drawing. This one's always a little tough, especially as a parent. You really feel in your heart, what a kid is putting forth that effort to create something that they love. You also have clearly a very well-written piece of poetry here about a character and an event that is heartfelt throughout the Warcraft community. Where do you fall on these two in terms of first and second place?
Oh man, putting the ball in my court. I kind of feel that I'm leaning towards the creative side of the poem over the painting, but that's my take on that. I enjoy I enjoyed the thought that went into the poem, and that's not to take away from the child's drawing and the creativity there, and it was also a nice submission, but I think I'm leaning towards the poem over the drawing.
All right. Yeah, I feel, of course, and we feel a special place in our hearts for all things warriors, right?
Right.
And receiving a child's drawing through Twitter of a warrior banging away on arguably one of the greatest baddies of all time. That is certainly something that ranks very high in my books. However, yes, it is very hard to vote against Lighting the Way for Kindy, this excellent poem that we received. Very heartfelt, well constructed. Clearly a lot of research and thought went into this one. So, Edgar Poe, you are the winner of Navox's virtual stream. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
And thank you as well to our child, to Graves, to Family Graves, for submitting this awesome warrior picture. You are our second place winner. You will receive a mount of your choice, so please just shoot me a message. Let me know which one you want, and we will get that sucker to you in the mail. But well done all. Lighting the Way for Kindy is our winner. Edgar Poe, well done. I had a chance to have a little bit of a conversation with this guy over email. Seems like a good chap from a land far away. And this is what happens when you decide, you know what? I'm just gonna do it, man. I'm just gonna throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. And you never know. You never know what'll happen. So congratulations to all. And thank you very much for participating in our little contest. You never know how these things are going to turn out, but I'm pretty pleased with what we've seen, and I hope you guys enjoy all of the fine prizes and enjoy the virtual stream, Mr. Poe. All right. Now that we've got that wrapped up, why don't we jump on to what you're actually going to see on the virtual stream itself and all of the awesome panels we've got coming up at BlizzCon. So you and I, kind of talking about this in general, and I know for you, as part of the kind of the tongue-in-cheek nature of the prize we're giving away, is that I think that you've expressed that you feel not quite the level of enthusiasm that may be felt at other BlizzCons.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it this year. Like I'm not excited this year for, it's just I'm a diehard WoW player. I love all the Blizzard titles, but I'm a diehard WoW player. So when there's not a WoW announcement or something, I'm not all excited about everything that Blizzard puts out. Could this be a year for a new IP that we don't know about? Possibly, and I know there's going to be some stuff about WoW Classic brought up, but even WoW Classic, not even remotely interested in WoW Classic at all. Not even remotely interested in it.
How dare you?
I know. It's because, and that's the thing, and I'm not going to go on a WoW Classic tirade. If you're interested in WoW Classic and it's your jam, play it. That's great. I did that, but I keep going out on the WoW Classic forums and people are like, I really hope they make transmog. If you get a transmog in WoW Classic, I hope it goes over your other character. No, keep that shit separate.
There's no looking for dungeon.
Right, exactly.
There's no looking for raid.
Exactly. Keep it
is
all
no
separate.
transmog.
Let them experience Classic the way Classic was without all the quality of life improvements that we have now in game. You know, so it's like, you guys go camping, I'll stay over here, you know, at the Waldorf. It's like, you know, it's like
I'm going to spend the next 4 hours trying to get a dungeon run together. That sounds like a great use of my Saturday.
Hey guys, looking for a tank and a healer? Good job getting a bunch of fucking DPS together there, buddy.
Oh, man. Spamming chat for 2 hours. One warrior DPS looking for group. Oh, dude, those days were the fucking worst. Like I'm with you on that in the sense that I'm definitely gonna be a tourist. I'm gonna check out WoW Classic, and I am curious to hear about the development of it and what they've actually had to do technologically to go back and take a look and see, okay, here's all the things we got to do or what we did and how we made certain decisions. The sad part is, and this was something that we've kind of talked about on a variety of topics around Warcraft, is that you're just never going to make everyone happy, and there's just always going to be people bitching and complaining. Well, why didn't you guys do this? Well, why did you guys do that? Oh, why isn't it this way? Oh, and it's like, nostalgia is going to be a rude sidecar partner on this ride.
Yep.
Man, I wish those folks a lot of luck. Well, we do have a handful of panels this year. We have Immersive Sounds of Azeroth, where it sounds like they're going to be talking about, I guess, Drustvar as a central sort of thematic discussion point. And they're going to do a live performance from the Battle for Azeroth score, which is pretty sweet. And David Arkenstone is apparently going to lead this performance. He has been one of the musicians who has been part of Blizzard and part of Warcraft and part of all of these properties of theirs for many, many years. Like some of the most famous, like all of the inns, like when you go into an inn and you hear that music and it's the same familiar music.
Yeah.
That's him. You know, there's tons of stuff in Warcraft that this guy's responsible for. So, you know, I'm a sucker for all those kinds of things. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. You know, and that's granted that's on Saturday, but that's one of the ones I think I'm most interested in seeing, because you don't really get a sense of how that process works a lot. They had Russell Brower in the past, who I think was kind of in charge of a lot of the musical stuff, and there was a restructuring of the company. He left. So you don't really get a sense of much of how the in-house music stuff works, I think. But I'm really looking forward to that one. I think more than any other panel at this point. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The first one we actually have on Friday, November 2nd at 2 o'clock is the Voices of War, Horde versus Alliance. There's apparently going to be a, quote, lively discussion with the voice actors who bring all of these characters to life. Andrea, and I'm going to butcher this last name, Troyes,
Okay.
who is sort of the wrangler for all of the voice talent. If and I said this last night on the stream, if you've never seen her live and if you've never seen her host a panel, you're in for a treat, because she's pretty lively.
She's very lively.
So it won't be boring. I can promise you that.
Never boring. No.
Very supportive of the people who work with her. But that surprisingly is the first Warcraft specific panel, because the next one, which is the World of Warcraft What's Next panel, doesn't come on until 3:30, which is a half hour after that panel ends. That's the one where we usually see all of the big stuff, especially when we have a big announcement, expansions, patches, whatever the thing is, where the developers are going to come out. They're going to tell us, you know, here's what's coming that you guys know about. Here's what's coming that you don't know about. You know what? We may get a preview as far as what's going to be happening up to a year from now, like they did with Argus some time ago, where they told us we were going to Argus about a year before we actually did.
Yeah.
So there could be something there. I've also been told that this is where we may find out who J. Allen Brack's replacement is.
Oh, yeah.
On the Warcraft team.
Yeah, that's right.
That could be interesting. And those are the kinds of things that you see with these panels. Is you never know who's going to show up, and it could be somebody you've never seen before. Like, oh, that's who's in charge now. Okay, great. Is there anything coming out of that specific panel? Because that's always one of the main ones for us. Is there anything that you think that we're going to see out of that, or anything, I guess, specifically that you want to see coming out of that?
What I'd like to see out of it is I'd like for them to announce that the patches, I know it's still on PTR, but I would love for them to be like, hey, by the way, when you guys get home, the patch is going to go live that Tuesday, and you guys will be able to do all this. I'd love the Cole Tyrans announced. I'd love for them to be like, okay, so here's a playable race that you'll be able to play, or maybe that's something that they can flip a switch and turn that on, and it doesn't need to be out there before the patch. That they can go be like, okay, well, we're gonna enable this right now, and you guys can all play the Cole Tyrans, and you can level that up. So I'm really looking forward to something like that. But besides all the stuff for Tides of Vengeance that they've been putting out, 8.1, I don't know what else,
Do you think we'll get some 8.2 or maybe 8.3 previews?
That would be great. And if they wanted to do player housing, give us ships for our houses. I would love to do, I'd love my own ship to sail around out there. I would totally love my own ship, Blizzard. Make that a thing.
Yeah, I find it interesting that these panels are only 45 minutes, because that amount of time just blazes right on by. Like 45 minutes in a what's next panel is not very long.
No, it's not very long.
So I'm kind of surprised. And again, this goes back to something I think we talked about before, where I don't remember if we mentioned this on the show, but the fact that Diablo actually has the first What's Next panel after the opening ceremony led a lot of people to believe there was going to be some kind of Diablo 4 announcement. And then they put out a blue post saying, oh, temper your expectations. I'm really curious as to what is going on with the scheduling. And granted, we're going to find out in a couple of days anyway. But yeah, it'll be curious to see how much of a lead time we get on some of the developments for Battle for Azeroth. Now, after that, and immediately starting after the What's Next panel, is the Battle for Azeroth cinematics, which I've said it before, I'll say it again. We are huge fans of these cinematics.
Oh,
Blizzard
yeah.
does it better than anyone. And you're going to get, I think, Taryn Gregory, and you're going to get Christy Golden, and you're going to get, that cast of characters of folks that work on these things. Go ahead.
I just thought of something. So
Yeah.
the thing with Diablo, immediately after the opening ceremony, would you say that Diablo is bigger than any of the other Blizzard IPs? I mean, I know StarCraft. You've got StarCraft, StarCraft is huge. In my opinion,
I would say, if anything, Diablo is probably the furthest down the totem pole right now.
So what if they put Diablo there because there is a new IP, and because of the new IP, they could just slide that right into that slot? And if the diehard Diablo fans are like, they really want to know what's going on, what's next versus the new IP, what if they just slide in something there that nobody knows about?
No, I don't think they'll do that, because when they did Overwatch, they had it, I think it just said What's Next.
Okay.
They'll leave it as an open category. And I don't think that Blizzard is, and I know, I heard this last night on the panel too, is that, maybe they're just throwing stuff up because nobody has anything to announce or whatever the thing is. There is so much thought and preparation put into putting on a convention and the panels and why you do what you do. They're not just going to throw shit out there just because. That's just that. They're too big and there's too much going on for them to waste people's time to just screw around. Like it's kind of like when people said, "Oh, they're going to file fake trademarks for games." Nobody is going to waste the time to do those kinds of things because it's just they just have too much going on.
Gotcha.
I'm sure that there will be something Diablo related, even if it's just a tease of something. Clearly, there'll be something. The quality of what that is, we'll find out.
Yeah.
They've already talked about how it's going to be on Switch. That's not an announcement. It's not a new game on Switch. It's just the game being ported over. So there's going to be something, and I think it'll be cool, whatever it is. But back to Warcraft.
Yeah.
We've got the Battle for Azeroth cinematics panel happening on the first day of BlizzCon at 4:15. on the Legendary stage, which that's all the story and franchise folks that are going to be talking about story development in Warcraft. And again, another group of people I really love, and I hope that they talk about, not just how we got to where we are, but maybe the philosophy of what they're going to be doing going forward, because they've really grown this portion of the franchise even further than what they've had in the past. They've always had stellar storytelling, in my opinion, but it's gone above and beyond, as we've talked about on this show a bunch of times. But do you think that this perhaps may be where they drop something new, or is there something else that you want to see on this panel?
I was going through the panels that I was really interested in, and the ones that I have here are I love the cosplay panel. I know that's later on.
The community night's awesome.
I love the cosplay, and this year there's so many good cosplayers that are just.
Yeah.
I mean, Pasha's got this Death Knight thing that lights up. It all lights up. It's all neon. It looks really, really awesome. Kazel has her thing going. There's just looking out on Twitter, there's so many people doing the cosplay thing. I'm really, really excited for it this year. Little Sparks has a Malfurion take. So, I mean, this is all going to be... I love the cosplay stuff. Aside from that, the panels that I would, if I was going to get the virtual ticket, this is what I would want to watch. Build a panel, world creation, and WoW. Discover the sound and music. Discover how the sound and music was used as storytelling in Drustvar. Drustvar is one of my favorite zones, so this would be something that I would love to see. And it says, enjoy the live performances from the Battle for Azeroth score by David Arkenstone and his Tavern Band. That's going to be really, really interesting.
Immersive Sounds of Warcraft panel that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and the other one, the artists that were creating World of Warcraft, a live demo showing the creative process behind the Battle for Azeroth visuals, from concept to texturing to 3D art. That's going to be something. I saw some of the artists out there showing, like, hey, if you want to learn how to draw Pepe, come to this thing and we'll show you how to do that.
Oh, Pepe.
So and the other one that we had mentioned earlier was behind Blizzard's music. I love Blizzard's music. I have all the albums on my phone. I listen to it, but I don't really know if any, that actually might be interesting in the Battle for Azeroth cinematics. If something gets leaked there, I mean, it could very well possibly be there. Taryn Gregory and his group have gotten so good at storytelling through the cinematics, and I'm still waiting for a Netflix series for the Warcraft universe.
I think that's the no joke. I think that is what's happening. That sounds like that may be happening with Diablo.
That I'd be okay with that too. I love anime stuff, and I think that would be a good fit for it with Netflix. Also,
open the door to everybody else.
I imagine they're going to have a bunch of Lego stuff there too for the Overwatch, because I know Lego has joined with Blizzard to do Overwatch Legos. So maybe at some point we'll get some real Warcraft Legos as opposed to the Lego, the generic Lego bricks brand that we got, the Mega Blocks. They were called Mega Blocks for the Warcraft Mega Blocks. Remember those? There was Deathwing and
I have the
Zeppelin.
Syndergosa one in my house.
Oh, nice. There you go. So yeah, maybe we'll see some Warcraft Lego stuff out of that. But this year I don't know. I'm not as I don't want to be a downer either, because I love it. I'm a Blizzard fan. I love Blizzard. I love their stuff. I'm just not. I'm not. In the past, I've been like, oh my god, this is great. This is amazing. It's like but this year I'm just like.
Well, I think this is a good opportunity to see, okay, coming into it, we're not really expecting a lot. This is kind of what I would consider to be a Geek Is year for those that remember the year that there was nothing to announce, and Chris Metzen came out and gave a sweet speech about, what constitutes our nerdy, geeky culture and how to be inclusive kind of thing. And this is kind of like that sort of year for Warcraft, I think, where we have an expansion. It's only a few months old. It's probably going to be another BlizzCon from now before we get like a big expansion announcement going on, which is, again, I said it before, I said it again, I think next year's going to be a monster year for Warcraft. There it is. But I'll be interested to see when we come back next week after BlizzCon and you and I talk again, we'll see what has happened in the intervening days, because I feel like they're going to have something for us. It's BlizzCon, man. They got to do something.
Yeah.
There's going to be something, and there might be other surprises for other franchises, and maybe that's what gets all the hype this year, and that's okay too. Because to be quite honest, I play most of the other games off and on, and I do have a deep and abiding love for especially StarCraft. I really love that franchise, and I hope that there's something going on with that thing in the future at some point, even though it seems a little stuck in neutral at the moment. But
yeah,
you never know. And I think at the very least, getting some insight. I always love getting behind the scenes stuff, whether it's how they make the music, how they make the cinematics, whatever they do. And if that's the kind of year that we get this year, so be it. But I have a feeling they're going to pack a lot into those days to give us our money's worth. Community night's always fun. God help us with the Q&A. Plus there's all the esports. Tons of esports. Love the StarCraft finals. Overwatch is going to be blowing up. So I think that there just may be other things, not necessarily just Warcraft, that'll get us hyped up. But we'll see. And you and I will be back here next week to talk about all the good stuff that we saw and how we felt about what actually ended up coming to pass. The last two things we have before we go is, one, we finally got to know what the closing musical feature is. And it turns out it's features, plural, with Christian Nairn of Hodor fame, Train, a very famous California band, and Lindsey Sterling, who is sort of an electronic violin act.
Yes.
It's an interesting sort of eclectic thing. Those three acts are essentially going to be playing at the same time on different stages in the convention hall.
Right. So it's a music festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to kind of give you a chance to say, hey, this is more my vibe, or this is more my vibe. And then you can tune into, if you're watching the virtual stream, you can tune into that channel. Or if you're there, you can go to that hall, which, the more I thought about it, I think this is actually a really brilliant move, because now it's not just, this is that one band and they suck and I don't like them, so I'm not going to watch them. I'm going to go. Now you can have, maybe you have another heavy metal band, and then you have your EDM, and then maybe you have some other act over here in the corner somewhere. I mean, you can have a selection of different bands and different artists and different groups, which, you know what? As Blizzard moves into being outwardly a very inclusive and progressive company, this is the kind of thing I think vibes with that idea of we're going to do different things to try to appeal to different people.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
I actually kind of hope that this will be something that they do going forward, which means that more of my, traditional Scandinavian black metal bands can show up and, have level elite Tauren chieftains open for them or something to that effect. Last but not least, the BlizzCon charity auction was just announced. That's going to be running from Thursday, November 1st through Tuesday, November 6th. This is a charity event that they do. All of the proceeds go to the Children's Hospital of Orange County, I believe it is. And there is always really great stuff in these charity auctions. They always end up going for way more money than I can ever spend. In particular this year, they've already highlighted a couple. We don't know the full load of what all of them are going to be, but we know that one of the things is going to be a replica of Anduin's helm.
Yeah.
Of the one that he wore in the Battle for Azeroth cinematic. That's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. It looks really sweet.
Other than that, they usually have art pieces and various things. Like they have a few previewed already, such as a Diablo and Leah from the Book of Adria, which is a book that just got released, a big print with a bunch of signatures from folks on that, as well as a Kerrigan piece and a Heroes of the Storm piece with a bunch of mecha versions of
that looks
different
cool.
characters.
Yeah, I think that one looks cool. Yeah,
pretty badass. So anyway, that's something you can check out if you've got some extra scratch laying around. Good for you, and maybe you can lay it out for a good cause. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this pre-BlizzCon episode. Other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at NAV_OX.
As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berzerker Rage. Feel free to contact this show with your questions, comments, or otherwise at unshackedfuryshow@gmail.com. You can also find this show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and pretty much anywhere else you grab your podcasts. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet, your banners high, and we'll catch you next time. Enjoy BlizzCon, everyone.